We are live.
We're live and the dream's alive.
The dream is alive. Namma pasanga, namma ambudan. I mean, this is the kind of performance that you dream of. No complaints, no nothing. A solid clinical performance. And start the whistles because Chennai Super Kings are on top of the table.
Yes, something that will excite the fans so much because after that slow start, rather tepid start to the season that they had, nobody thought, and there were question marks as to where the CSK team would be headed this season. Are they again the dad's army? Do they have the right composition? Why did they invest in Stokes when he's not fit? And all those questions were being asked. CSK.
Biggest one being CSK has no death bowling.
CSK, I know, with this inexperience, well, guess what? They know how to crack it. They know they are arguably the best, but factually speaking, the second best team in the history of this competition. And where do they find themselves right now? Right on top of the tree.
I love this old normal. I mean, Chennai Super Kings topping the table, beating opponents.
49 runs.
And to our colleague Shane, who isn't here, you lost. Fourth consecutive game, Shane, your team has lost. Okay, so I had to rub it in for the hard time that
you're not coming
yesterday.
Tomorrow day after, are you?
No, there's no CSK game.
No, but he'll be back. No?
He'll be back. Yeah. So I just want to tell him, you've lost, Shane. So, number one.
We're going to play it out for him again.
Of course. So today, see, the batting and the bowling. Immaculate. Yes, 2 drop chances towards the end. But prior to the 19 overs that were bowled, fantastic catching.
Are CSK learning game by game to win matches despite dropping catches?
The catch dropping came afterwards.
After the match was sealed, you mean?
Yes.
Players like Gaikwad and who other?
Thikshana.
Thikshana.
He dropped one more catch today.
Yeah, but tough fun, yeah. Straight at him, but then you almost thought that, his webbing got cut and all.
Oh man, if that is the case, then Chennai Super Kings are going to struggle.
Because the physio ran immediately, it was a tough chance. I think it had to do with his webbing. So
oh my God, if that happens, they have lost one of their best death bowlers.
We don't know because he did complete the over.
Yeah, but it was a full toss, which luckily they didn't. But see, you're talking about death bowling, right? One person's inclusion has meant that their death bowling has improved leaps and bounds, and that is Matisha Pathirana.
I told you the other name, na. Podi Malinga, but he is not Podi Malinga. He is also Podi Malinga.
He can be, but then see, if you look at the original Podi Malinga, Podi Malinga means small or junior Malinga. Podi means fine, small, that powder, that finely grounded powder. That's called Podi in Tamil.
Right now, he's only finely grinding the opposition out.
Exactly, but that is Nuvan Tushara.
Yeah.
That is Nuvan Tushara of Sri Lanka, who is called Podi Malinga. He's got a same bowling. For all of you want to Google, type Nuvan Tushara bowling action. That is the way how
very similar, very similar. Which is why our dear folks there in Sri Lanka are touting him to be Podi Malinga as well. But for the world, for all of us, yes, we can relish and cherish so many Malinga lookalikes when it comes to the bowling action. But it's bad news for all of us. Because that means more and more people who can bowl like Malinga and more people who can stifle the opposition when it comes to these big chases. But well done to the man whose addition has really made a difference.
And look at the contrast in the power plays today. Let me just sum up the Kolkata Knight Riders innings. Jason Roy's injury threw their plans into total disarray. Sunil Narayan came in. He was cleaned up by Akash Singh, who, by the way, bowled exceptionally in the power play.
Yes.
Great pace, great bounce, hurried the batsman. And when Narayan Jagadisan fell, Venkatesh Iyer fell LBW to Moin, you had lost the game primarily in that. But Jason Roy came in and boy, kudos to his now. What clean hitting. 61 of 26, 5 fours, 5 sixes. He hit Moin with 3 sixes. He almost could have hit the fastest 50. He was going at that rate, 38.
But then ultimately got it in 19 balls, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, he got it in 19 balls. Clearly the injury was playing on him. He couldn't run properly. And had that ball from Thikshana not dipped, He could have hit that for a 6 as well, but luckily...
But very smart bowling by Tikshana. He got smacked for a couple of big ones that over, and then he bounces back, just changes the length a bit. He went for that slog sweep again, but again he changed the length this time around and got that all important walk.
Prediction right, ladies and gentlemen.
Harshit was the closest.
No, I was. I picked 50.
50 runs.
You said 50?
Yes.
Then you were.
Closest.
You were bang on.
Yes.
I'm bang on dead right.
Yes. So let us give a Tikshana tribute to him.
Picked how many?
36.
36.
I had picked 20.
I picked 60.
I picked 50.
Yeah.
Exactly. So in tribute to you, let us do the Tikshana celebration.
Well, I'm sorry for not having watched the last bit of the game very closely, because I had.
You were planning for someone's birthday party.
My favorite.
Some birthday party you were planning.
You're planning to celebrate God's birthday.
After
apparently.
all the conversations we had, and you made me so romantic about Sachin Tendulkar, that I was like, no, we must prepare something very special. So we are working on something very special for our Sports Today family,
Yes.
which we'll present to them tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll work the whole night,
Yeah.
so that it's ready by tomorrow morning.
27 minutes to go for...
Oh yeah!
We'll be-
wish him live.
We'll be
We
calling in
must.
his birthday.
Lovely.
We'll be
We-
calling in his
Lovely.
birthday.
So be ready with your favorite Sachin Tendulkar story or something.
Of course.
Anything.
Absolutely.
Do something to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it?
We have him in spirit with us anyway. Yeah, this bat.
Actually, we'll tell them later.
After 12 o'clock.
Yes. Oh, Gargi knows about it?
No, we'll tell after.
Yeah, but we will.
Legend of this night.
No, when the birthday happens. Then
Yes.
Yes.
Not now. For now, let's focus
This-
on what the folks have joined us
You
for.
know, this is giving me Janmashtami like feelings. Krishna, come! We are going to celebrate your birthday here. We are going to celebrate God's birthday.
So stay on with us till 12,
Yep.
right?
Yes,
Stay
absolutely.
on with us.
And till then, it's
Whoa,
that.
what was that?
the Tikshana celebration. He does this after he takes a wicket and then
Ah, nice one, Sid.
Is he a
You've been practicing it, huh?
big fan of archery or something?
he must be a fan of Edinson Cavani because Cavani also
Cavani
has a
used to do
same celebration.
Oh!
Yes.
But he wouldn't do this.
He doesn't do this. He does this.
Yeah, he'll take the arrow out.
Must be so the Uruguayans also have history of like bow and arrow going
Yeah.
and hunting.
Yeah.
Maybe Tikshana.
Tikshana's probably copying Edinson Cavani. He does that celebration when he scores a goal.
I can't recall.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe. Football memory is failing me.
So yeah, I mean this is a match that I think there can be very few complaints about Chennai's performance overall in all departments. It was fantastic power play bowling, fantastic death bowling. Tribute to Jason Roy, despite a dodgy hamstring, he still managed 61 of 26, clean hitting, and kudos. But for KKR, big problems because they have now lost 4 consecutive games.
On the trot.
Sunrisers Hyderabad at home, Mumbai away, Delhi away. Now second consecutive game at home they have lost, and it is to Chennai Super Kings. It's not going to be very easy for KKR at this point in time. If you're a KKR fan, Shane, you lost.
Okay, ठीक है, now he knows.
No, Nikhil didn't know.
4 times he's been saying this.
No, Nikhil
He
didn't
said
know. For the hard time that he gave me yesterday, I should give him a hard time now.
No. Go ahead.
that. 3-4 times he's already announced.
Just as he was blaming you for taking an off on a day that CSK were playing, so because alleging that you were scared,
Did he allege that?
maybe it is payback time.
Yes. Shane, you
He
gave up the
probably
jersey.
Trolled from you.
Yeah. Shane, you gave up the jersey mid-innings. That is the way. He gave up the jersey. He said, Hurry, no, they're not winning. That's the way it is.
Did Patirana do the Ronaldo
He did.
celebration?
Doesn't matter. Minimize it.
He did. But it was kind of a very in-between celebration. It was the Ronaldo celebration, but it was some other... It came out in a different way.
Junior Ronaldo.
I don't know how he does it.
Shivam, please give us a scorecard.
Podi
I
Ronaldo.
want to see it.
Yes. Podi Ronaldo. Yes.
So what happened in the game? I mean, it was a lost cause anyway with the way they started.
Yeah.
With Jagadishan, they lost, and Sunil Narayan, they lost. But that experiment clearly not working for them. I don't know. Again, all in hindsight, and we are all experts in hindsight. But if you had someone who was in form, Venkatesh Iyer probably could have been the guy. And I think, just as we suspected, that Jason Roy thing was a strategic move rather than his injury, because they wanted to probably make their batting order a bit long, and also have Sunil Narayan just blast his way through and help put them in a situation where they can win. Didn't really work out for them. Disappointing game for Nitish Rana overall. But Jason Roy, boy, that position, he did pretty well.
Dangerous.
You know, I mean, at that strike rate, I think he even bettered Ajinkya Rahane, whom we showered a lot of praise on, or is he just the same?
255.
No.
Yeah, Rahane and
44.
244.
Yeah.
Just
Close,
behind.
very close. Also, Rahane got more runs, so.
71 of 29.
Yeah, 244, we remember.
Yeah.
Shivam, don't move it, please keep it there. Yeah. So, 234 his strike rate, Jason Roy's, and then that man can't do anything wrong, Rinku Singh.
Yes. Clean hitting yet again.
How many of you thought that this could be a win for KKR? They could do the unthinkable at
I
that
think
stage.
there was a little bit of glimmer because of Rinku Singh and.
Was it a glimmer, or were you like, no, now 50-50 is switching?
No, a glimmer, I believe.
You never gave them more than a glimmer.
No.
Yeah.
Because look at the way CSK was bowling, except from that over from Moeen Ali where he got 20 runs. Every other bowler has been. They had a great economy.
Why I thought that it could have been done, though it didn't. Shivam, please don't show us this, please. At any time that I thought that they really did have a chance, because I knew that there was Andre Russell to come. And I thought that where they had reached when that partnership was happening between Roy and Rinku, I don't know, I had a feeling that with a Russell to come and a Vise who's also quite a capable bat, I think I thought that it's going to be a close game. It could go anywhere. But then I wasn't prepared for that collapse that they had at the end, especially Andre Russell. Yeah, I mean, you expect 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, whatever, of him not scoring, but now this has been an extended poor run this season, so I guess that is something that really needs to be looked at. Today, though, even his bowling got topped, so it's not been a great IPL for Dre Russ, and I guess the way KKR were going the past few seasons, it seemed like if it was Dre Russ, he would take them. If it wasn't, they'd struggle, but they never kind of rectified that issue, and again came to another IPL season on the hope that it will be once again that man Dre Russ who will carry them through. It hasn't happened, and which is why they've kind of struggled this season.
Yeah, I mean, again, what position did he win? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 7.
I would actually criticize that position on most occasions, but just today, because of how Jason Roy and Rinku Singh also batted, I mean, you really can't. Could he have done any better? Maybe not. So I guess unless. I mean, you're brave enough to drop the captain, but because he's an Indian player, so really doesn't, in that sense, eat up that foreign slot. It was tough, but you could have made that better. Again, all in hindsight, if you hadn't done the Sunil Narayan experiment, pushed everyone up, in that, then Russell would have come at least one stop.
It sort of worked because Jason Roy got you runs. I think it was Sunil Narayan who could have done something, but I think it kind of worked. 50, the move. Jason Roy, Sunil Narayan.
Yeah, no, but it's only, I think they didn't plan it in a way that Jason Roy will be successful. The aim of the move is to get Sunil Narayan to get them off to a great start. And that didn't happen. So I think the move, that's why I'm saying it didn't work. Yes, then by chance Jason Roy had to bat lower down the order, and then he comes and plays the way it is. But I think that was more designed not to ensure that Jason Roy gets runs there, but more to ensure that Sunil Narayan gets them to a, 12 run, 15 run over start. Or whatever, first 5-6 overs, however long he bats. I think it was designed for that. So in that sense, it didn't pay off. But if you hadn't done it, again, as I said, hindsight, at that time, when he came out to bat, I was 50-50. Yeah, maybe not a bad option. You could go with it. Maybe not. But what it would have done was 2 count, also pushed Andre Russell a spot higher.
I'm just thinking if I don't know if this would have worked out. Could they have also, let's say, gone in with a Venkatesh Iyer and Narayan to open with, and probably just kept Jagdishan for some time, later down the order, because see, Venkatesh is your man in form right now, and I get the whole move of bringing in Narayan because you wanted that start, because there was no way the batters would have had the time to get their eye in. You had to go slam bang from ball 1, and Narayan would have done that, but not Jagdishan. So Jagdishan could have been your number 8, number 9, whatever it could have been, But again, that would have required some more guts and some more thinking out of the box.
I think the reason they sent him up there, what we discussed, right, is up against his former team. So any anger, he also went out like, go for it.
But he didn't.
Good catch by Jadeja. Very good catch.
Yes.
And today, because of CSK's catching, they managed this margin. Otherwise, if you had looked at the CSK team of 2022, you would have still been biting your fingernails, because the amount of dropped catches that has cost them games, for example, the GT game that was there in Pune, it really killed off their chances. So that's why, look, the problem is you are already on the back foot when you concede 235. Now, with Sunil Narayan not in form, where would you bat an anchor like Jagdishan?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Big problem. Because see, you can say Nitish Rana batted in the position that he wanted. I would have said, you need not have had the experiment with Narayan, but that was forced upon them because Jason Roy's injury threw their plans awry.
Experiment. No, I think it's a welcome experiment.
I think it threw their top order awry.
Yeah, even I think.
Because, see...
Both Jagdishan and Narayan, both.
Yeah. One is not in form, the other is an anchor. What do you do?
And plus, what I'm saying is that, I don't know how you look at it. The one approach that most teams are taking, that let's make a batting order long if you're chasing a big total, so it looks like you've got batting very deep. But I still believe that conventional thing is, even if you have to chase a big total, sometimes the top 3-4 are good enough to chase it, rather than rely on everyone having to bat at number 8. So you go in that way, and if you want your top 2 or 3 to either give you a fantastic start or at least even be in a situation to chase it, then go with your best batsman. I mean, that whole conventional thing is not happening. I mean, again, Andre Russell has not been in the best of form, but if you were to make a batting order, then go with a Jason Roy, a Venkatesh Iyer to open. Just go with that, and get someone like a Rinku Singh, man in form, at number 3. Get somebody like an Andre Russell who can finish over number 4.
Yeah.
So instead of him having just to bat 10-15 balls, allow him to bat 30 balls. Yeah, allow him to bat 40 balls, whatever. And then if that doesn't work, then you anyway get into plan B, plan C, which the other guys can then execute. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think the problem with Russell is that he knows how to play in only one way, and that is slam bang.
So sure, if there is one game where you won't be in double mind, and you just have to play one game, then it's today.
But I think his batting, what he wants to do, I think it's completely he's confounded. Why? He refused a single to Rinku Singh, who was striking much better.
Over that,
I mean,
he's Ray Russ.
He's Ray Russ, but I think if it continues like this, I think there'll be question marks on Ray Russ's capability then, because you want to take whatever run that comes your way.
But I think, it's now that time in that league stage where teams need to start taking those calls, because 50% of the league stage is, by the way, over. Some teams have played 7 matches already, and I think KKR are one of them. 4 they've lost, 2 they've won, 6.
I think they've lost 5.
4 they've lost on the trot, yeah. So more and more teams now, having played half of the league stage, then need to take these so-called radical calls, let's say.
I mean, I'm only wondering with the KKR team, what is wrong with Shardul Thakur? What is the injury that has kept him out for the last 2 to 3 games? After the Mumbai loss, he's not even there. Even among the subs, he's not there. If that injury has struck him at a wrong time, then your 10.75 crores that you invest in Shardul Thakur, it's
not in their hands.
It's not in their hands. It's once again an injury hurting KKR at the wrong time. You remember in the final of 2021, they could have very well won it had it not been for Rahul Tripathi's injury. So,
but apart from that Shardul Thakur's injury, where do you think KKR is going wrong at the moment? Many places.
with their bowling. Their bowling is totally, look, once again, the Pacers have not stepped up. Look at how Umesh Yadav has bowled. Look at who was your other bowlers.
Can we have a look at the bowling, Shivam, for KKR?
Yeah, I mean,
Because I want to make a point about the bowling. Yeah.
Up. So see, Visa, Umesh, Kulwant Khejrolia. Look at those three bowling. One is inconsistent. One is playing his first match in the IPL. Kulwant, lack of experience that's there in the team. Your main concern is you don't have a plan B when your spinners are taken to the cleaners.
Exactly. I think this is where things are going massively wrong for KKR, because let's go back to the 2 wins that they had, let's say. It is their spinners primarily, especially that win against RCB, that really boosted their morale when Chakravarti and Narayan were both unplayable.
Suyash Sharma.
And Suyash also, yes. So today you see cumulatively, I think there was just 1 wicket that was taken because because Narayan didn't get a wicket. Chakravarti didn't get a wicket. I think Suyash did get a wicket though. So just 1 wicket for the spinners, and you thought that when they play at the Eden Gardens, perhaps they'll get surfaces that will suit their bowlers much more. That didn't happen today. It was a flat deck. So after whatever they'd done in Ahmedabad with those Rinku Singh exploits, you thought that team was on a high, but they've not got those kind of performances from their spinners, and that is where they're leaking runs and things aren't going the right way for them.
Yep. So Ajinkya Rahane is the man of the match, not surprisingly.
Just one thing what MS Dhoni has said, because we mentioned earlier in our mid-show as well, that today was a rare day where visiting team fans outnumbered the home team at the Eden Gardens, because we know how passionate the Kolkata crowd is when it comes to their team, which is the Kolkata Knight Riders, one of the most followed IPL teams. So they actually, it was a sea change, as was being reported by reporters there, and I was watching it on social media, that there were more yellow jerseys than the KKR jerseys. That's, as I said, very rare to see, and it's not the first time that Chennai are playing there. So they've played before. We all know it's probably because of an MS Dhoni, but today it was more primarily because I think of the statement that MS Dhoni gave a few days ago, saying it's the last phase of my career. Anyway, speculating that this could be his last season, though he himself hasn't really said it in black and white.
Yeah,
could be not, but he addressed that at the end of the game, where he said that he wants to thank the crowd for the support today, turning up in large numbers wearing the yellow jersey in Kolkata. He thinks that most of the people, the next game that that will be played in this game at the stadium, they will wear the KKR jersey. It's just that this game they weren't wearing the KKR jersey. That's because he feels that they're trying to give him a farewell. So he wants to thank the crowd for giving him a farewell. But he doesn't believe that the fans have in any way are upset with KKR or have stopped supporting them. We just feel it's just because they think that this is his last game and they've come to give him a farewell. That's why they've come in yellow. He's pretty much sure that the next game that will be played on that stadium, be it against any other franchise, they will all be wearing the KKR jersey. And I think he's right.
He's right. Absolutely. See, that statement, as Nikhil said, just maybe raised the speculation, is this Dhoni's last? In every ground that he goes, except Chepauk or Narendra Modi Stadium, is it the last time we see him? That is the thing. And
he is dropping a lot of Easter eggs. So.
Yeah.
Dropping a lot of Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. Yeah.
Yes.
He is.
Man, oh man. But I told, Hari, the CSK superfan, the one who comes at yellow, I had spoken to him about a year back. I said, see, Dhoni, how did you take the international retirement? He said, I couldn't believe it. I first just couldn't believe it, and it took me a lot of time to digest that fact that he's not going to play for India anymore. When I asked him, supposing he doesn't play the IPL and he retires after say 2022 or 2023, 2022 or 2023, and if it happens in Chepauk, what are you going to do? He said, I am praying every single day. I'm praying that he doesn't retire at Chepauk because the fans will not be able to take it. That's the emotion that Dhoni is evoking, and it's the kind of emotion that it would evoke when Sachin Tendulkar was there. I mean, when Sachin retired on November 2013, that's it. An era had ended, and I'm pretty sure no eyes were dry at the Wankhede.
Harsha Bhogle said that, I remember.
Yeah.
He was
When
behind the
he
mic.
was,
I was at the market.
of course.
And it was very bad.
And you felt blank. He's going. I'm like, really? Is it really over?
Actually, to be honest, I saw a lot of people, because in the stadium, I saw a lot of people cry when he played his innings and he came into the ground. I was just maybe soaking in the atmosphere. I was, clapping for him. I just didn't cry at all. To be fair, I did not. I think I started getting emotional and crying is when he was giving the speech. There's a speech actually which got to me, not the occasion as much, because had that speech not happened and he had just like walked away, because people had started crying earlier only when they were when the last ball was bowled. At that time, wasn't so much. It's just that speech.
I think one of the speeches of a decade.
It is one of the finest speeches ever. Not only just sporting speeches, you could put it like the great political speeches or whatever. I mean, the best speeches ever. It was very well written.
I think you have to be if that speech didn't leave you with a sore
With a lump in your
throat. Then if it didn't
time to be having sore throat.
if it didn't leave you with a lump in your throat,
But my first reaction was blankness. Has it really happened? Has he really retired? All those chants, Sachin, the sight of that number 4 walking in the ODIs and test matches.
You know my tweet when that exact moment happened, when that game got over, and it wasn't planned, it was just instinctive. I just wrote one line. I just wrote Sachin Tendulkar, former India cricketer. That's all I wrote.
Man.
Because from that day, from being an Indian cricketer, he became a former Indian.
Yep.
And that is when it hits you.
November 16th, 2013.
Yeah. I often say, and I thought I'd keep this a discussion for when the birthday happens.
But now we are entering the birthday. What I just
meant, like you can have the debate about the greatest cricketer ever. People say Bradman or forget greatest in the world, but just Indian. Let's keep it to Indian. Greatest Indian cricketer. So the generation prior to me would say there was nobody like Sunny Gavaskar.
Yes.
Then there'd be a generation around that time, say maybe
Viv
Kapil
Richards.
Dev. No, I'm just saying even if it's an Indian, if I leave the world, say probably Kapil Dev the greatest Indian cricketer. Then the generation will say Sachin Tendulkar. Maybe today's generation might say Virat Kohli. You don't know. They will change. But and I've often said this. I'm going to copyright this line that you can have an argument over who the greatest cricketer is. That could be a valid argument. Everyone will have their points, and there is no one fixed answer to announce a winner of the debate or announce anything. But if there is a prize for the most loved Indian cricketer, then there is no chance anyone can ever beat Sachin Tendulkar.
Yep.
Nobody. Because whoever you are, Sunny Gavaskar divided opinions.
Yeah.
Kapil Dev divided opinions. Virat Kohli continues to divide opinions. I mean, there could have been a very small minority, and there was, that probably were divided on whether Sachin was the greatest or not. I mean, the only argument sometime would happen, and I'm not even talking about Indian cricketer, that somebody might say that Dravid's played some more crucial innings at certain occasions. But when you're looking at overall cricket, you're not just going to look at test cricket, right? You're looking at all formats that you play. So in that case, I can't think of any cricketer in any generation who was more loved than Sachin Tendulkar, and he defied regions, demographics, age, whether it was like a 10-year-old kid to a 60-year-old grandmother. And I can give you examples. Like for example, I'm just saying Virat, like he will be in that conversation of being the greatest player or whatever. But his demeanor and all, you'll find it very rare for old school guys to consider him the greatest, because of their old school thoughts. I like Virat the way he is. I like him with his aggression and in your face. I am a big fan of it, but maybe I am from that generation. Or the generation before me, if you had to speak, they may not pick it. But in Sachin's case, that was never the case. So even the Gavaskar generation before him, if you had an argument, they'd still be like, no. Oh, you could argue that Gavaskar is great, but they never say we don't like Sachin. Like they've been in love with Sachin, that He's just perfect. Your grandmother, anybody would like him. Every other player, you could have long debates, arguments, which didn't like. Like in Gavaskar's case, there were controversy about captaincy at certain point. That infamous 36 that he gets in a World Cup. Personally, for me also, I can also argue in favor of Sunny Gavaskar being the greatest. But there are a lot of parameters where I think he's number one, ahead of even a Sachin. But as I said, I'm talking about people being divided and they can make different arguments. In Sachin's case, rarely, like you will have people, but that will be like just a handful who would argue against him. So the most loved cricketer he has. Exactly. As Shivam points out, our producer, that his grandmother, so no interest in cricket. But on the day Sachin is playing, you would ask. You're absolutely right. That's exactly how it was. There was not a single person, and cricket wasn't such a. It was, 30 years ago, is still very male bastion where men would generally watch. Not now how it's like universally accepted, and there are as many women watchers and players as well. But those days it wasn't. Even then, the lady of the house who barely watched cricket would know Sachin. I would want to know how much he scored. There could be rarely a person who didn't love him.
It was, Tendulkar's arrival was at a very symbolic time for India as a whole. We were all changing and technology, Western values, it was all coming into India.
India was globalization.
We are becoming global.
Sachin's emergence coincided with the economy globalizing.
The liberalization.
And whatever is the trend now, Sachin was an emotion. It was highlighted everywhere. You see, there would be TV shops, they would line up for a Sachin knock. Moment he got out, TV's off, we are going. That was the impact he had, and for just that impact alone, for 1.3 billion Indians, he remains right up there. Who can have that effect? I'm sure Virat, Rohit, there are a lot of match winners in the Indian team now, but that time, just Sachin. That's it.
Also, in terms of, I also gauge a player. So it's not fair to compare sometimes generation, but at least that generation, because everyone's facing the same condition, same bowler. So you do look at how far ahead somebody is, and Sachin played alongside some absolutely outstanding batsmen in Brian Lara or Ricky Ponting,
Jack Callis.
So a lot of those guys. But I'm saying there also, let's say there was no visible weakness. You could like Callis, you'd say, okay, Test cricket outstanding, but is he a match winner in white ball cricket? Not with the bat, right? I'm just comparing batsmen. Similarly, Lara's my favorite, everyone knows, and he did. But then that longevity, that ability to dominate white ball games. I think Lara in Test cricket was champagne stuff. But white ball cricket not as effective as a Sachin was. Ricky Ponting, fantastic in white, red, both, but had a visible weakness against spin bowling and couldn't knock out. Sachin is that one guy. It was rare to find a flaw, whether it was based on condition, whether it was kind of bowling. I think the all-round package that could. So I'm looking head and shoulders above the rest of the generation. So if you were to draw a comparison with Virat today is fighting a close battle with a few other great players like a Steve Smith or a
Kane Williamson, Joe Root.
or a Joe Root. So we'll have to see how these guys end, and then how far ahead he is of his contemporaries, then gauge his performance. Though right now I think Virat could be leading because of his
white ball prowess.
Both. He could do it in both games, whereas a Root or even a Smith much better test
players.
They may even be slightly ahead of they are, I think, right now ahead of a Virat in Test cricket, but then white ball cricket he's
way.
You want to lead the wishes?
It is
12 o'clock, so here's wishing the greatest of all time, the GOAT, Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar a happy 50th birthday from the entire team here at Sports Today. 24th of April. You all remember the date. One can never forget it.
24th April 1973.
73 he was born. Absolutely. And all I'd say, like, and I think all of us should wish him, but I want to wrap up with my wishes, saying that in cricket we often say that when you reach a 50, put your head down and double it up. So I'll just say that to Sachin Tendulkar: put your head down, double it up. You want a century.
Yes.
And he's so good at converting 50s into.
That's what I'm saying. Even now, your demands are still the same.
The century wishes never stop for Sachin.
Yeah.
Never has and never will.
Never will.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, watching Sachin for over 20 years, I was wondering, wow, what will it be to meet the great man? And I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would get a chance to meet him. I said, okay, I'm in this field, but meeting this guy, I think, is like way out of my syllabus, if that's the case. So 6 years ago, I was working with some other organization, and there was a summit that was going to be held. So my former boss told me, like, you have to shadow Sachin. I'm like, shadow Sachin, what does that mean? You have to be with him and you have to ensure that he comes from the room to this. He's taken care of. You are in charge. I'm like, wait, who are you talking about first? He said, Sachin Tendulkar. I said, is it? Okay. So when I went to the hotel and when I was waiting, I mean, his flight got delayed apparently because of fog. It was in December, so that's why fog had delayed his arrival in Delhi. He was coming from Jaipur. When after 2 hours, I got a call saying that yes, he's in the hotel, he's in his room. You can come after half an hour and get him down. I got the call, I went up to the lift and I was there on the floor waiting for him. I'm feeling very, my heart is beating very fast. I'm like wondering what's going to happen. I mean, I have seen this guy on screen for 20 plus years. He's thrilled us, he's made us emotional, he's given us so much joy. How will it be? I mean, I hope I don't fumble, that's the first thing. So he comes out of his room into the foyer. Siddharth, I said, yes, hi, Sachin. I said, please, let's go down. And when you're just coming, I said, I will never get this chance again. I just want one photo with him, if you don't mind. I asked his manager. He said, yeah, sure. So he clicked the photo. I still very proudly display it on all my social media platforms. That's the one photo that I have framed and I forever look at it on every April 24th. And I say, yes, I did manage. And when I got out of the lift and taking him to the assembly there, out of nowhere, 80 to 90 people just came and they wanted, oh, sir, autograph, photo. I was jostled, I was pushed, I was punched. I somehow got him. And guess who was moderating that session? Mikhail. Yes. So 40 minutes I could spend in that room. I spent 40 minutes in that room, and why I could still recall everything, because that's how memorable it was. Yeah.
Acha, you know.
Yes,
You know,
I know the story.
So
Acha, you must have said it something.
that's why.
Such a story. It deserves to be told multiple times.
I know. That's
This
why.
bat is special. This bat is special. It's in our studio. People wonder why. Because it's been held by the great man.
Yeah. The hand of God himself.
Hand of God. We have visuals. Can you cut to it?
Yes.
Okay, just to prove to you that this is the exact same bat that Sachin Tendulkar held. Are those visuals playing right now? They are on your screens. That is Sachin Tendulkar.
Can they hear this thing as well, Shivam?
No,
No, they can't.
It's okay, no problem. But you can see the bat. See, the same bat.
Yes.
Oh, that's okay. My voice is echoing. Okay.
And this is, by the way, just about a month back.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter when it is.
He's
It is the
talking
same
about
bat.
that uppercut six of Shoaib Akhtar.
Yes. See, the bat is there once again. A clean blade with no this thing. Can you go forward to when he's going to be
Replicating the shot.
Oh man.
there? The bat is there. There. This is the bat.
Yes.
So there now. See, he's going to show the Shoaib Akhtar 6. There he goes back. And those people taking out their cameras to catch that moment.
Yes.
And they've captured it. It went by in a second. I don't think too many got this.
Just like Shoaib Akhtar didn't get to know.
Yeah, Shoaib didn't get to know.
But man, oh man, what
ever since that time, he has not. This bat has been kept like that. It will never be washed.
Yes.
Anyway, bats are not. So
We must.
But the handle could have been.
The grip isn't changing either.
We must have a frame. We must have a separate frame for that bat here. I mean, all the memorabilia they often do case it. We must have a special case held by the hand of God himself.
Nice one. Hand of God.
Of course, the true hand of God. I mean, from Sachin Tendulkar, and that's why. And what a memory! What a memory this guy has, Sachin Tendulkar.
Oh yes.
And Nikhil conducted that quiz, which went absolutely viral on each of his dismissals. But the one that blew me away was I scored 100 even on that 17th. March 17th, right?
Yeah.
I just was, man, he remembered that as well.
No, because I thought, how is it that you're supposed to remember so many innings that you played internationally? Like, for example, again, I'm not comparing, but, he used to play a match every third, fourth, fifth day. Compared to that, let's say, we as amateur cricketers play a couple of matches a month. And you asked me like 3 months ago a match, so which matches are much less, but 3 months ago also how you got dismissed or whatever, I'd have no idea. So you can't, right? But so imagine this guy who played for 20 odd years, now he's been retired for a decade. Each inning of his, he just knows how. But if you guys haven't seen it, that video is on Sports Today when I do the quiz with him. That was a month ago.
Is it very journals or something?
No, just top of his head. Just top of his head. Remember, so I just go and I'm just, I don't think I shared it before. I purposely picked innings where not necessarily he's got 100 or something like that, right? So, like I remember his first 100 was Manchester 90. So I picked up the game before that at Lords.
Yes.
But he did not get 100. And there were like some 30 odd runs.
30, yeah.
So I was like, this is not an inning that 100 you'd remember or something like that. I asked him, bang on. He not only how he got out, who the bowler was, where he got caught, everything. What is the kind of shot he played?
He is a machine.
And then after that, I asked him 4-5, some nondescript, some random innings. And then he's like, too easy. Then I was like, okay, let me make it tough. And let me ask you that today we're sitting on 17th March. 17th March. You've got 100 on this day, on 17th March. So he must have played not 20 or 17 March, because not every 17 March would play, but at least 10, 12, 17th Marches like every other date. And I said, you've got 100. That, because it was slightly tougher, he just asked me the opposition. He says, okay, just tell me the opposition. So I gave him the opposition. Bang on. He mentioned the ground.
South Africa, Vadodara.
Yeah.
That guy is. That's why. Every knock, every dismissal, he'll remember. Mind blowing.
Arji, your wishes and your memory.
Yeah, she's saying she was.
But
I do have one memory. Is I didn't watch a lot of him playing cricket, of course, because I was a little baby. But I remember his farewell speech at Wankhede, because and it I didn't watch it live, but the video circulates, and it ingrained in my memory when I watched his movie a few years ago when it came out.
2017.
The documentary. Yeah. And I was an aspiring cricketer, and I think that speech really held on to me, because that's when you connect to him as a person. It really stripped him off as a, and not in a bad way, in the best way possible as a cricketer. And he was presented as he was, as a human, as a person. You could really relate to him. And even though I did not watch a lot of his matches, I got very emotional watching that speech. Even I was crying at one point, because it's just what he makes you feel. That's just the kind of person that he was.
He moved the nation, and he was the ultimate healer of the nation also. 2008, the Chennai 100, dedicating it to the victims of the Mumbai terror attacks. No knock in the modern
yes.
era would have had a greater impact and unify and heal a nation that was
Yes.
scarred. That was Sachin.
For the way I look at Sachin again, where we talk about his work ethic, we talk about his batting, his numbers, the GOAT debate and whatnot. But for a country as diverse as ours,
Sure.
to make 1.5 billion hearts beat together, to be that unifying force, that one thread that binds the entire nation, and a nation that is so divided across cultures, across political beliefs. There's so much dividing the nation at times in terms of who we are, where we come from. But for one person to bind the entire nation together in the history of this nation, or rather this independent nation, I should say, there's been no politician, there's been no one else but Sachin Tendulkar who managed to did that. And that for me, stays with me. And the one thing that he says, he knows, he will always be in that debate when you talk about the greatest of all time. But he never tells somebody to be the greatest that you are, or in your profession or anything. His advice to people his age, our age, whatever it is still to be a good human. And that is something I always sort of remind myself of, because if the greatest man on the planet when it comes to cricket can say that, and he probably says Arjun also the same, and his daughter too, forget being a cricketer and all, if at all you want to be good at something, be a good human. And that's what he is, which is why the speech that we were all talking about, and Gargi also talked about, his work ethic and the person who he really was. He was an embodiment of the word, let's say, humanity, let's say. He walked back to the pitch, bowed to the pitch, touched the surface, came back, just told you how much he respected the surface that had given him so much. And that visual really stays with me.
Yep.
Yes, sure.
मेरी स्पेशल मेमोरी है.
आपने सुपर चैट के सारे ले लिए, वो निकाल भी लो और बताते जाओ. हाँ बताओ.
तो जब सचिन का 100 हुआ था 2012 में, मैं गांव में था अपने, एंड गांव में हमारे गन्ने के खेत होते हैं. तो जैसन वालों ने बोला कि चलो छुट्टी आज खेत पे चले जाओ, कोई गन्ना वन्ना ना छुड़ाए. मैं चला गया था, एंड मेरे पास रेडियो था. रेडियो पे वो मैच की कमेंट्री सुन रहा था. सचिन का 100 हुआ बांग्लादेश के खिलाफ. पागलों की तरह खेत में कोई नहीं डांस कर रहा.
See, Shivam narrating how he heard the Sachin 100th on radio in his village while he was on duty in and then he was asked to look after his farm, and he just started dancing by himself. So that's why I'm saying you related so much to him. He's one of you.
But for us journalists, he was a nightmare. What could you write something new about Sachin Tendulkar? I mean, every aspect, every facet of his life, records, batting, technique, everything was highlighted. That's why when you had to write a special feature on his retirement, that became my toughest assignment ever. What new can you write about Sachin Tendulkar? Because anybody who you spoke to, they knew. Arey, what you're talking about? We knew this thing about Sachin. Oh, we know this about Sachin. It was a nightmare. Because you had to give something new. How would you do it? Because that's what Sachin was. And see, right from his name itself had such a big inspiration to it. I mean, his father was a big fan of Sachin Dev Burman.
Yes,
and that is why he got the name Sachin.
Yes.
I mean, Sachin Dev Burman for people 50s, 60s and 70s, he was the maestro. Ultimate maestro of music. His son carried that legacy forward in Rahul Dev Burman, or Panchamda as we know. And that is why everything about Sachin is surreal. Which is why any knock that you look back, even on YouTube, even on everything, you will still feel that same emotion. For example, the last over 175 against Australia, one of my colleagues broke a TV because Australia had won the game despite Sachin's 175, Hyderabad. That was the emotion that he still evoked even after 20 years of playing.
सचिन को मैंने इतने पास से देखा था 2019 में. वो 2012 के बाद इतना सफर.
Very good, Shivam. Do we have any super chats on Sachin? On Sachin first, then we'll come to this.
I think
Go ulta.
The
go
last
ulta.
ones,
Yeah.
the last one.
Go ulta.
I think we have to go a bit
No, that's okay.
before.
Let's take whatever is coming. Kirumbakaran Ramachandran says might be too early, but we need a left-hand finisher for Team India. Both Tilak Verma and Rinku should be fast track. No belief in KL. Sorry. Anyway, KL is not a lefty.
Yeah.
But also, I'm also a big fan of Tilak Verma. I think he's got the goods. Rinku, I still want to wait a bit
Yes.
more, though he's had a very good season this time and had a decent-ish season last time also. But I'm saying also, let's not get carried away, because whenever we do with fast-tracking players, either then give them a long rope, because a lot of people have been fast-tracked. Let me start with, you had Venkatesh Iyer recently. Ruturaj Gaikwad came but was injured most of the time. Deepak Hooda has come, but now he's not living up to that billing. So there are players that you've got. Umran as well, yeah. But I'm just mostly looking at batsmen, since that's what. So we get excited by 1 or 2 IPLs and then we realize that it's not happening. But clearly there is a lot of talent to look at, and see the difference between last IPL and now also. Jitesh Sharma looked outstanding last IPL, has had a very average IPL this time around. So for Dhoni, so we also need to be a bit more patient. Yeah.
Yep. We have to be.
Nitish is saying,
Hi everyone, I am 26 years old. Watching cricket from the last 20 years. For me, Sachin is the GOAT. With a heart emoticon. Players will come and go. But for me, Sachin is the all-time great. After Sachin, Dhoni is an emotion.
yeah.
That is why the same reaction that we are seeing on Dhoni, it is a similar thing what Sachin had.
True.
No, the one thing with Dhoni and Sachin, I think it's a big similarity that I see between the two of them in terms of the power that the two of them had in terms of drawing the crowds.
Yeah.
No other people have come close. Yes, of course, there's been a Virat, there's been a Sunny Bhai, there's been a Kapil Paji, and there've been legends all around. But I remember in that very documentary of his, rather his movie that Gargi just talked about, I think one of the things that was said was that anywhere Sachin would go, there would be crowds all around. And Mahendra Singh Dhoni right now in today's day and age is that cricketer. You leave him, can he really go without security? Can he really set his foot outside the house?
Yeah.
Impossible.
Okay, Mehraj rule says that people would turn off. I'm going to rephrase it. People would turn off the TVs once Sachin got out. Such was the impact of the man. After the 2000 match fixing incident he was talking, it was Sachin that took the burden of the entire nation, and the nation trusted him then. So he carried the burden of the nation for 24 years. Absolutely right.
Absolutely. But although, yes, Sachin was always there. But what was the first silver line in that dark cloud after the match fixing saga? One was the Champions Trophy performance. Yuvraj, you saw the unearthing of Yuvraj. And second, I think it changed the entire mood of the nation. Lakshman and Dravid's Eden partnership against Australia.
Yep.
It gave India belief. And on that belief, we carried on for the next decade.
True. Very true. Shubham Garg.
Best unspoken speech was MSD retirement post video.
That's classic Dhoni.
Ah man.
Classic Dhoni.
Classic.
Which is why, at times I think as to how exactly will he say goodbye to the Chennai crowds or to the Chepauk, let's say. It won't be like, okay, tomorrow is going to be my last game. He's not going to make a prior announcement. We know that about MS.
One must pray he doesn't do it in Chepauk.
Yeah.
One has to pray because the fans cannot take it.
If Dhoni, let's say, makes that announcement, I would like him to, but we know it'll be very uncharacteristic of him to make that prior announcement. That he'll be playing his last game. But if he does, we're all having a sleepless night here in office because it'll become a national event.
I mean, forever 1929 hours IST. Consider me retired. And that song, it gave a new meaning to that song. In my life also, I looked that song in a very different light after MS Dhoni's retirement.
Yeah.
Okay, Mehraj Rule has picked his top 4. Mumbai Indians, RCB, CSK, Gujarat Titans. That's what he thinks.
Yeah, pretty close to my prediction. Instead of MI, I had put RR there.
Yeah. Vishal Panchal says Russell's got a bat higher up. We discussed that at length at the start of the show. He feels Rahane for Test cricket, but the word is out that they have asked him to start working with the Duke's red ball. So there is interest in having Rahane ready for the World Test Championship. But after the performance here today,
Can't ignore him.
Dare I say, we've had a few hundreds this IPL, but in terms of, if I had to pick one flawless knock, which is like no drops I can't think of or any error or anything like that, then it's got to be the knock played by Ajinkya Rahane. So yeah, he's really in contention.
Yep.
Harsh Patidar is asking your top 4 in this stage of the tournament.
I will still maintain CSK, RCB, GTRR. These are my 4.
Are they the 4 that you had picked earlier?
Yes. RCB though are 5th. It's LSG who are 3rd. So I didn't pick LSG in the top 4.
Okay. Anybody else started?
Charanyan Iyengar is saying started watching cricket in 1994, 1995 at the age of 10. Followed most of his cricket when he retired in 2013 Wankhede, which made us cry. Only restarted following cricket again in 2020. How many of you would have said, cricket's done. Sachin's done, cricket is done. I'm not going to watch cricket again. A lot has happened. Lot of fans have said. Yeah. And the first series after that, it was South Africa. India were touring South Africa. First series after Sachin's retirement. You were like, India's indeed into the new era now. It was in the new era.
Piyush Nandre says the greatest heartbreak was Glenn McGrath caught and bowled Sachin in the 2003 World Cup.
Yes.
True. Sand is saying after today we might witness MSD lifting IPL trophy and announce IPL retirement. And he thanks our team. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sand.
Just come out of it. Shivam. No, these got okay. You can leave, but I'll have a word with them. Right? They need to wait for you.
Yeah.
We'll take the final comment. Sammy saying the way you're talking about Sachin sir from the 2000 year, I feel the same for MSD and Virat, and I'm literally criticizing right now. Crying. Oh, sorry. Thinking about the future when Virat will retire, and I'm sure that this generation, maybe we can get Gargi to later tell us in detail how it must feel like for her when someone like Virat Kohli retires.
I mean,
but I'm sure.
Just thinking about it.
But the day will come.
Yeah, of course it will. I don't think it's very long before it happens. 5-6 years.
5-6.
But that's a long time, half a decade.
Good.
But it's still not a long
5-6 he'd
time.
be like 40.
But looking at the fitness of Virat, why not?
He might. You're right. He
Why
might. Vignesh is saying, what is
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know why suddenly after all CSK's post-match interviews he's crying, which is true. As an MSD fan, every time he talks about it, it does look like that. He's retiring. But I'll tell you a word on it. I don't think he will announce it. I don't think even he will know. I think he will take a call about his next IPL at the start of the next IPL.
Yeah.
That could very well be he plays or he doesn't play. So in that sense, he's also preparing himself that this could be the last year.
Yeah.
But if he feels he's up to it, he might come back on this.
Yep.
So even he wouldn't have an answer.
Yes, it is.
Okay, on that note, we've gone on for very long. We'll take your leave. We have more work to do to prepare a special.
Yep.
Sachin, Ramesh, Tendulkar. I'll record another one on that, Shivam. Let it be. Okay? So from all of us.
Yes, all of us here.
Bye. Cut a cake.
Yep.
Let's get a cake tomorrow.
Yes.
Yep.
And cut it in our life.
Yes.
What you can do is, in fact, why don't you tag us in whatever celebrations you do, and we'll try to put those videos out.
Let's put that on Sports.
Yes.
If
Yep.
you have a social media thing, just tag us on Insta or Twitter. Sports Today. We'll take out your images of celebrating Sachin's birthday and make a video and put it out on Sports.
Yeah.
Yes.
With your names on it.
Happy birthday, Sachin, yet again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.